Well, I've been trying not to throw up in my mouth real quick here. No, that's wrong. That's wrong too. All right, are we here? Yes, we are. No mistakes were made during the introduction of this episode. Welcome, friends. You might notice some new face. I was going to say faces. That would have been the correct plural for my early conjugation. However, if you are watching this on YouTube and you somehow have missed all of the drama, SidAlpha has left the channel. I've made 2 videos about this. They both start with the name June 2020, so you can just search on my YouTube for those video names, which will explain everything you need to know, which is everything I know.
I feel like June 2020 explains everything anyway right now.
Yeah,
well, that hurt. That was painful. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. This episode will not have a skip intro timer. I get the feeling the first part of the episode is going to be 90% intro. I base that off of we haven't had an episode in a while. There's a lot to do. There's a lot going on in our lives. Now,
are you saying Raddosaurus rules are suspended?
Raddosaurus rules are suspended, and I'll get back to more about Raddosaurus rules in a second. First, there's a topic I want to discuss. Now, I know a lot of people around here don't like me talking about this topic. We have a specific channel on Discord for talking about it where I insist that everyone go there. And so talking about things of this nature is unusual for me lately. But I feel that
Grand Fate channel. I try to stay out of that Grand Fate channel as much as possible. Did I just blow your joke on accident?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Oh my god!
I was trying to set it up to be a politics joke.
I could swear that you did that on purpose.
I did not. I did not. I was trying to just be a jackass and sidetrack you on your joke, and I
was trying to imply that it was going to be a political discussion, but instead, it's a discussion about anime. You may or may not know that I am currently redoing my studio. I have to get everything away from the walls, and my desk is currently against the wall, and my other desk is also against the wall. So Monday, my ceiling is getting painted. The ceiling boards where the mold is are getting removed and getting painted in. My bathroom is getting done. That'll take 2 or 3 days, but that's fine. I have other bathrooms in my house. But everything needs to come away. You may or may not know this, but computers typically need to be unplugged because they're covered in cords, and pulling them 6 feet away from a wall there's no way it's going to survive that. So I may have internet Monday, but I definitely will not be able to broadcast Monday, and possibly even Tuesday. Thanks for that sub, Swiftwork. So I've been cleaning up literally everything for weeks, and I found my old VHS copy of Slayers. Now, I'm willing to bet that most of you may know more about Slayers than you think.
Not this guy.
Oh, I bet you do. Have you ever played League of Legends, Dota, Dota 2, or really Heroes of Newerth? Any MOBA game ever?
No.
All right, then you're correct. You don't know anything about Slayers.
Pokemon Unite?
I don't know. No, that's not going to count.
It's not even out yet. That was a joke.
Never played a MOBA.
Fine. You know what? I'll just skip the joke then.
You didn't play Heroes of the Storm?
The joke is relevant to some other people here. Please,
Heroes of the Storm. I think it probably is relevant to Heroes of the Storm as well. And there's no way Rad can say he didn't play Heroes of the Storm.
I've never played that game.
That has to be a lie.
It's not.
I thought we played Heroes of the Storm together.
That wasn't me, man. You must be thinking of somebody else.
I don't remember. What was Heroes of the Storm? 3 years ago? I don't remember.
I don't know. There was a
could
kick
it
where...
been like EQ or somebody? Because I don't play any MOBAs,
Who
man.
knows? All right.
There was a kick where Cotton, I, and EQ and a couple of people were playing Heroes of the Storm for a little stint.
I'm not telling the joke anymore. You've killed it.
Okay.
You've killed the joke now.
It's like two dead jokes in the first 5 minutes of the show.
I feel like it's all my fault. Bring back the VHS. It's so cool seeing VHS.
I mean, I have dozens of them now. I found them in my drawers. So not all this furniture was originally mine. Some of this was my sister's, and apparently she stole my VHS of Slayers at some point, left it in the dresser with her VHSs, and now I'm like, I wonder what's in this. Oh, that's mine. When the fuck did you steal this? I don't know if I have a VHS player, but now I have 20 VHSs. So
Can I tell you a VHS story quickly?
Please,
Oh, please.
do, and
I'm
make
ready.
sure
So-
this one doesn't bomb like all the other
No,
ones.
worries. Okay, yes. So
Let me
my
attempt to guess the punchline.
the thing about my so I'm a mad collector. Anything I can get my hands on, I collect it, and I get that from my father, who is also a mad collector, who is spending all day, every day, ordering off Amazon, whatever he can get: CDs, DVDs, old VHSs, old LPs, and it just fills up his house. He literally has his bedroom floor/bed is covered in stuff, except for a corridor from the door to the bed. And when he wants to go to bed, he's got to move all the stuff from the bed into the corridor so he can sleep. When in the morning gets up again, moves all the stuff from the corridor back onto the bed so he can get out of the room again. And he's got a lot of VHS tapes, and he's got VHS players. And recently, my wife's mother gave her an old VHS tape of all her dance performances, and we don't have a VHS player. So I said to my dad, "Do you have a spare VHS player we can borrow?" And he said to me, "I've actually got 3 spare ones still in their boxes. I'm not being used, but I don't want to lend you one because I'm worried that my current one might break. I've got to put one of these in, and then that might break. I've got to put one of these in." So he would not give me one of his spare 3 VHS players because he's worried he might one day need them. He's 90, I want to say, by the way, as well. So I don't know how he's going to get through 4 VHS players before he dies, but he's dedicated himself to that particular objective.
Does he watch VHS often enough to break a VHS?
He never watches them. Like all the stuff he buys is all still in the packaging. Like it's still wrapped in the the Amazon boxes. It's not about using the content. It's about owning the content.
Is your dad legitimately a hoarder? Like, would you say?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
He's a former what we call a QC here, which is a very high-ranked lawyer, basically.
Okay.
And anyone I think that spends their entire life in the legal profession goes completely batshit insane.
So, do you feel like you have one foot in that door already?
Oh yeah, for sure. And my deal with my mother is when he dies,
You can all stop.
I've got to get rid of it all. If I can realize money, great. But she just wants it gone.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that just meant you were by get rid of it.
You're getting
were
those
just gonna-
VHS players.
You're like, now I have 3 spare VHS players.
I'm gonna make that
In your face,
VHS enough for it can't refuse.
Yeah.
I collect
That's crazy.
VHSs, but not
Do
the
you?
players. Yeah,
Wait,
I have a couple
players or VHSs? Or both?
VHSs.
Okay. All right.
I have one player, but I don't know if it works very well, and I'm scared to put my VHSs in it because I don't want it to eat it. I had one when I was a kid that ate my movies, and I've been kind of scared to test it.
That is fairly traumatic, I would say.
I own a Betamax tape, but I've never owned a Betamax player.
Wow, I
Wow.
don't know what to say about that.
I missed that
That's
train. I gotta
My
say.
favorite VHSs that I have is like I have a couple like Disney movies that have never been opened. They've got like the plastic around them still.
Were those in like the big plasticky cases that Disney used to make their VHSs in? Yeah.
All right,
Most of
Cotton.
them are from like childhood, and then I started buying them.
We're back
Sorry,
on
go ahead.
Slayers. All right. At the very least, you'll get the second part of this. I was going to make a whole bunch of references to Pyromancer and Lena Embers. Instead, we're going to talk about... Now, let me say, Slayers is famous for being one of the largest American series to first offer that particular trope to American audiences. And it's one of the only ones that had the English and the Japanese voice actor both nail it on that laugh. Naga the Serpent. And ever since then, shitty, annoying villains always have that laugh. And I know that you're a fan of that particular laugh for reasons that elude me. I mean, I like it because it's like announcing you're a shitty person. And that makes it very easy for someone to understand when they're bad. It's like when I'm like, all right, a guy enters the room and kicks a puppy and everyone's like, oh, we're going to have to kill him. That's just how it is. That's a perfect way to announce that someone is a bad person. VHS Nightmare game? Do you mean Harbinger? Or it was called different things in different country, but...
The one with the gatekeeper, and you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
60 minutes to... Okay.
Stop!
Yeah, that's it. Answer me!
Yes, exactly. It was only good the first time through, but it was amazing. Wow, they really could remake that game with like a random shuffle.
I think they did.
option.
I think they did remake that game.
No, I
into
mean,
like a digital
yeah, they
version.
remade it for DVD, but now they could remake it, and it would be incredible with like a AI morphable choice, like a decision tree thing.
Have you seen the Netflix shows that are choose your own adventure?
I have not. Like
There's
Bandersnatch.
Minecraft story mode is on there in its
Yeah.
entirety, for example.
Is that one of those choose your own adventures?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like
It's
dialogue
like,
box.
it's like a Telltale game.
Last time
it
I
was a
played,
Telltale game before they went under. So
yeah, last time I played Minecraft, James's kid told me that I was playing Minecraft wrong. So
You probably were.
it.
That's what my kid tells me all the time. I don't know how to play Minecraft either, Arthur. I'm right there with you. Maybe we should do a stream of that where you and I play
we need to do
Minecraft
Sea
together
of Thieves.
incorrectly.
People,
We do. I
People
just saw an
want to see
article.
Sea of Thieves.
I just saw an article that game
It's
was
coming
like
back.
making a comeback. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You saw the same thing.
I mean, I've been wanting to play Sea of Thieves for a while. Sometimes it's the only game that I have installed on the Microsoft Store. So sometimes when I'm when to click on a folder, I accidentally click on the Microsoft Store, and I'm like, Sea of Thieves, it's still installed. Maybe I should do something about that.
But apparently, so like I don't understand PC games because I was out of the PC game world for probably like 10 years. So I think, and that's like when Steam came along and like it really evolved during that time.
I agree.
I had kind of become a console guy for a long time. And I'm here in the last, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years, I've been getting back into the PC. So part of the big buzz around Sea of Thieves is it just came out, it just launched on Steam, which is why it's like rocketing up in popularity and a bunch of people are picking it up again. But does that mean if I don't have the Steam version, I don't get like all the content, or is there
No,
like
you still have everything.
specific content? Okay,
Nope.
no, all right. Cool.
Nope. Should be.
I didn't know if they had like a different version of
I
the
think it's
game,
based
or
off the
just-
account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I believe it gets Steam.
Listen, you're gonna
has
have way more than the Steam people because you're gonna have all of the time stuff that you've been picking up.
Oh, I haven't been picking anything up, but
Right, but you were like a original founder, so you've
okay,
got
so
all
just things
the
that have like
yeah.
accumulated.
You're gonna log in and it's gonna be like, look at all these DLC sales you have now, and you're gonna be like, well, I was
Cool.
okay.
Yeah, I need to put it on my computer because I still only have it on my Xbox.
Sure,
So
we
once I
should
put it
play
on my
sometime.
computer, I'll be down. I'll be down to clown with some Sea of Thieves.
I had the PC versus console argument with my 8-year-old this week because he was asking why people who play Fortnite on PC are better than people who play it on console. And I said there's really 2 reasons behind it. The first one is that the bioengineering of using a mouse versus using a thumbstick controller gives you a greater degree of accuracy and acuity.
Right. Yeah.
And secondly, all the people playing consoles at his age, all the people playing PCs at my age.
Where, yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
I'd say you schooled him, but all of that was factually correct. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's like my son cannot understand why he can't beat me at Mario Kart. I'm like, I've been playing this game since before you were born, bro. Like, where
listen.
you at? You'll never beat me. I'll be 70 years old and you still won't be able to beat me at Mario Kart.
So I would take my DS with me on cruises and play the Pokemon games in between doing other shit. And sometimes you'd get one of those like street pass, like someone would challenge me to a battle or some shit. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're playing Pokemon," and I'd whoop their ass and like, "How did you beat me?" And I was like, "You're 12."
You're 12 and I cheat.
I've been playing this game since before you were born, kid.
That's
You know all those YouTube videos you watch with tips and tricks? I'm the guy making those YouTube videos, okay?
I actually could say something like that now. I literally wrote the book, I'm whooping your ass.
I'm the guy who watches those YouTube videos and thinks about how little that guy knows about the game that I play.
Listen, I'm so sad about ship cruising. They're canceled through next March.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really bad. What baffles me though is that they're like, all right, we're firing all of our crew members and putting all of our ships in hot dock, and they couldn't get any of that US government loan money, right? Because none of them are based in the United States. So they had to put all of their ships up as collateral for their loans. That makes sense. I mean, that's how it should be. You know, like if you get into a problem and you have no money. But the problem that they have right now is that they are massively hiring staff, not to man the ships. They're hiring people to salespeople to get you on the ships. It blows my mind. They have all of the people that they've had since before coronavirus started, and they're expanding their workforce in sales when they can't even sail until March.
That's crazy.
That's like 9 months from now.
But AP, if the ship cruising industry collapses, the ship breaking industry is going to go up.
Yes, you know I am
You've
big
got
on
those
ship
skills now.
breaking. I love ship breaking.
It's true.
listen, I assume that if the cruise ship industry crashes, the millionaires who buy private yachts industries will immediately rise to take its place.
You should start working on your certificates to be like a crewman on a
no thanks.
multi-million-dollar
Nope.
No, I guess you're not multi-billion.
No, you don't.
No?
You don't want to crew those ships. Maybe the
Why
bridge.
not?
That's about it. I want you to imagine hell.
I'm sure they're all really nice, reasonable people that are very polite when they ask for things.
They're extremely famous for being
world do
24/7
you
party
live in?
boats.
Yeah.
And other people hop on the ships because they're always in international waters. They use it to evade warrants for arrest in their home countries.
Sounds pretty sweet.
I did one tour once working on a cruise ship in security, and it was a new ship, and they hadn't finished the brig yet. So anytime someone acted up, we locked them in a cupboard, in like a supply cupboard.
Nice.
Wow. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that.
World class.
I'm worried about James. Listen,
At least they wouldn't.
I've heard James's employment history at various parts of his life, and I'm like 100% sure that he might actually be the Australian version of James Bond. He's like, yeah, I'm going on a company vacation in like some tropical resort where I'm security for the local people, and then he's like, I work for a women's magazine, and I'm just like, where do all
Just
these
hanging
dots?
out, rooting out the corruption in the health department.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
mentioned
big
that
deal.
too. Yeah, like for sure. I don't know what arc has been charted by Grimdark James's path in life, but like Australian James Bond is up there. Now I don't know what you'd call that person, but it's probably James.
So I've made a career out of security and counterterrorism, which sounds more interesting than it actually is. I got to say.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've never been a cop, or never been in the military or in an agency, but I've worked in adjacent roles to every one of those things.
And I want to circle back, as long as we're talking about government agencies, when people mention they don't make VHSs anymore. When you work for the FAA, 90% of the staff, their job is maintaining 100 to 70-year-old radar arrays all across the country. They don't replace them, and they don't make the parts for them anymore. So when you're hired as an engineer there, your job is to fully manufacture 70-year-old parts based on 6x Xeroxed blurry sketches. It's not great. But let me tell you something. It keeps the planes in the air. So yeah, that's right, Rad. We don't get those fancy military radars every 5 years.
What can I say? Really, I don't know. What can I say? Actually, it pays to take the lowest bidder. I don't know. There's not really a lot.
It really, it actually doesn't.
To go up of right
Nope.
there.
No. It pays to get a no bid contract. That's what pays.
Yes, that pays.
All right. I haven't even started my intro yet. That's the thing. That's where we're at right now. We're 18 minutes in. All right, so what do I need to cover? I feel like I've partially covered the fact that maybe there might not be a show next week, just in case my basement is still under paint attack, but probably I'll be good. This show will be continuing for the rest of season 4 at the end of season 4, which could be 3 months from now. Although we don't know if Rad's going anywhere, in which case it could be extended indefinitely. We're going to sit down as a cast and discuss what's happening from here. I don't know, so don't expect me to answer that question. I have a new show, Cyberpunk 2020 plus. Consider checking that out. It's currently only episode 0. And Oath of Endosteel is still alive and well. And I'm going to record another episode this week, so that'll be nice. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything. My cat is bad? That covers it. Pondo, what do you got? Did you shake your head when I said that?
Well, it was mostly a signifier as that. That's nothing new.
That is nothing new. Oh, I'm sorry, Pondo. Well, I was going to cut to you, but now I have to circle back again to Raddosaurus rules. In in Discord right now, in the announcement section, there is a poll, the summer survey. We do these every year. Consider answering it. Right now, Raddosaurus is winning the favorite cast member by far, by a lot. Last year, Cotton was very competitive in it. Pondo had me beat. This year, it's basically just Raddosaurus. I think he's got something like 75% of the vote. So that's it. I'm sorry, Cotton. I'm sorry, Pondo. You've both fallen in the rankings. I'm actually beating Pondo for once. And Rad is beating us all at such an incredible rate that none of us have any chance of catching up. There would have to be 20 other votes for someone other than him for someone to get even close to him.
I have no idea how this happened, to be honest with you.
What I told you that's right is 1 in 4 people don't like you.
I feel like I'm a pretty divisive person. I would never have expected this result. But that being said, suck it, everyone else. I'm the winner.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
Second place is first loser.
He is the winner. He is correct with that inclination.
But yeah. No, I'm shocked. I'm flattered. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad that you showing up to watch me have a good time is also a good time for you. I'm glad. I'm happy to share the happiness with anybody who's interested in participating. Not in a weird way, though. Maybe in a weird way. I don't know. We won't rule it out.
You don't judge.
I don't. No.
Okay. Pondo, I cut you off. Please resume.
No, it's okay. No, I haven't really done much in the past couple of weeks. I've just been busy. I'm about to get even busier because my manager is about to go get checked out because she's been having some sick problems.
Uh-oh.
And she'll be out for like a month, so it's just going to be me and my assistant manager working a store by ourselves. I don't know how it's going to go. Depends on how many people was wanting to go outside and paint their house.
Well, I just bought a shit ton of paint for my basement, so
yeah, and I think it's slowed down seemingly at the moment because I think people have already got all their stuff finally. Even though we keep running out on them because they keep buying the stuff. And they get upset at us for running out of stuff, even though they buy it.
yeah. If you had run out of my paint, I would have been upset.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up on the Cyberpunk 2020 Episode 0 thing. I'm looking forward to it. AP apparently didn't know that I enjoyed the Cyberpunk 2020 in the past, which I have. First experience was with Henley on Eat My Addiction channels when he ran that for them. And then I watched Dante Fiero by randomly thinking, man, I wonder if this guy has done Cyberpunk 2020 any other time. And actually, he just started Die Party like a week or two before when I found it. And AP was in it. And he was Dante Fiero, who threw people off buildings.
Constantly. It was my key move.
Yeah.
Rad drew fan art of me as Dante Fiero wearing
That's
a
true.
Santa hat.
I never watched that show, but I did draw for it.
I still have my keffiyeh over here somewhere.
And now that
Points
I've
in defenestration.
now that I've heard so much about it, I think I'm going to go back and watch it.
Oh, I fucking defenestrated so hard, man. Yeah, that's my prime strategy. The thing to know is that my show is the successor to Dave's show because Dante Fiero is now the GM PC. He's the head of the corporation that the players work for. So you're going to see more Dante Fiero. There will be less throwing off people from the roof.
I don't believe that for a second.
Well, consider the following. The people I'm most likely to throw off would be the players, and that would not be fair to them because I'm much better than them and much stronger than them, and I have a lot more money and cyberware, so throwing them off the roof would be pretty easy.
But you do need a scene where like an NPC says to the players, Mr. Fiero is waiting for you on the roof.
Oh, that's probably going to be the end of the second episode. Listen, I've been writing some
I just
good
imagine
lines.
Fiero just has a window that at his office because he doesn't feel like going on the roof anymore. Just a window on his office that opens up like a sliding door.
Look, it's true. There actually is a window in his office. So I found these beautiful cyberpunk maps that someone designed on RPG, and one of them was an office building, and I was like, "That's Dante's office right there with the big open window."
Yeah,
it's like a 20-foot wide balcony. Yeah, these maps are absolutely beautiful. So I can't wait to show people them. I will say this about the upcoming show: it's gonna get weird.
Well, yeah.
So the tagline is that the players are a media team. They're like a social media team whose job it is to blackmail, commit false flags, or otherwise embarrass rival corporations. It's gonna be weird. And Dave is the head of that team, so
absolutely looking forward to it. It's gonna be great.
I too am excited.
What else do you have when you're not watching Cyberpunk, which is the show that I'm in because I'm the head of that show?
I have my own channel, which is Pondothemad at either Twitch or YouTube, whichever respectively. Got back to my game finally after about 3 weeks of just not being able to do it or just not feeling like doing it. Yeah, it's been a relatively slow couple weeks, but I've been very busy, mainly because of work. Just hadn't felt like doing anything else. We haven't been here for 2 weeks.
That's true. But it has given me a lot of time to play Hardspace Shipbreaker, though.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I like it. I like it a lot. I feel like I'm at the end of that arc, though. Until they release more content, I feel pretty solidly geckoed out. I've been inside so many geckos, I'm pretty sure I qualify for a biology PhD. So, nothing? Nobody? I thought it was pretty good.
No, it wasn't.
There it is. He's ready with it. He's good. He's fast on the key.
Yeah.
It wasn't working last time.
Listen, it only has to work once. The correct time. So, oh yeah, and you can catch Henley on Saturdays with us because he's on.
Yes, he is on Rogue Trader. That's another one that's good that I got back.
Oh man, listen, it's tough playing Nero because he's bad at talking to people. So sometimes in the middle of in conversations, I'm just like, "What's the worst thing I could possibly say?" And then I'm gonna ramble on about that. It's basically like doing intros for me, but in character.
My life.
Yeah. Raddosaurus. We will do your intro in just a moment.
Very well.
The thing that I need to say to you is there's a huge patch coming out for Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay.
Just in case you need to tell your wife that diving and swimming are coming out.
Ooh, she probably already knows, but I will tell her.
Well, yeah, she seems like she's an Animal Crossing maniac, but
yeah, she hasn't been able to play a lot lately. She's been studying for
SATs. I know we all do from time to time.
The SATs, man.
Yeah, gotta hit that 12-10.
What's the test you take to go to nursing school? The TELPAS, the T's, one of those.
I don't know.
One of those tests. She's been studying for that like crazy. She's got that coming up next week. So
okay, so let me just say,
been playing a ton of Animal Crossing.
If she needs help with anything in the nursing world, my mom legitimately was a registered nurse for like 40 years and has a doctorate in education and specifically mastered in nursing education. So if she needs like a mentor figure, I think I can get my mom on the phone and
okay.
Yeah,
I will let you know. Yeah, I think
my mom has a number of white papers out about nursing education. So
as soon as she's over this testing hump, right, and she can start applying for schools, yeah, I'll reach out. I'll let you know.
WVU, that's where it's at, right? She's gonna move to West Virginia.
I don't know about that, but
what do you think about West Virginia, Pondo?
She wants to be an anesthetist.
That's a rough one.
It is because there aren't very many schools that do it.
Well, there are, because sometimes in the middle of an operation, people begin randomly screaming.
Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility.
I've heard it's terrifying.
Good anesthetist, yeah.
Oh boy. All right, you got anything else going on, Rad? It's been so long.
Yeah, I have no, not really. Let's see, what do I have going on? Well, I just got back probably 10 minutes before we got our call for the show. I just gotten home from the dentist. So,
Are your teeth clean and beautiful?
I got a filling. I did not get a cleaning. So if it looks like I'm making weird faces, or I'm slurring my speech, or I'm having a stroke, it's because half of my face is numb. Or if I have like a little drool coming out of the corner of my mouth, that could happen as well. So don't be alarmed. Your favorite cast member is fine. I just have half of my face has been numbed. So
Right against which half? I think you'd be pleasantly surprised.
My wife had fillings on both sides, so both of her face is like evenly numb. We both laughed at each other a lot trying to eat our dinner. And other than that, I mean, work goes on, business as usual. My professional skills of watching concrete dry have advanced significantly since the last time you saw me. I can watch it even better now. I have been hard at work, growing a beard. It is hard work. It is exhausting. It requires a lot of dedication and focus. Okay, so, yep. I don't have a whole lot going on other than that, to be honest with you. My kids are over at my parents' house all week, so it's been kind of a quiet, lonely week. We asked them to watch them so that my wife could buckle down and study all day, which is what she's been doing. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a little, whenever the kids aren't around, it's kind of nice because it's quiet and you kind of do whatever you want. You don't have to go through like the hour and a half long routine every night of getting them through the bath and bed and dinner and all that. So, I mean, you get a lot of extra time, but at the same time, I live to be a dad and hang out with my kids. So I do miss them terribly, even when they're only gone for a few days. So I am ready for them to come back. But I am also enjoying my quiet evenings. So it's a dichotomy. I am of two minds when it comes to having my children anywhere other than in my home. Let's see. I went on kind of a mini vacation. We went from one COVID-infested location here in Texas to another COVID-infested location over in Florida. We drove, we wore our masks, we stayed in a condo, we went to a beach that was not crowded in Pensacola, Florida, had a good time. My kids went snorkeling for the first time, which was a lot of fun. I was pretty proud of them. They did pretty well. It's kind of a lot to take in, when you're out in the ocean, you see fish swimming around you for the first time ever. But they did well. I was happy with them. My 5-year-old got out there, wasn't crazy about it, got back in the boat, and then we went to another location, and she did it again and did a lot better. Just the fact that she got in the water again, she was willing to try it. I was pretty proud of her. And my son had a good time as well. So, yeah, that was it. That's probably the only vacation I'll be able to do this summer with COVID and military stuff and all that. We just, it was a good deal. And we decided, hey, it's a little bit of risk, but there's actually less COVID where we're going versus where we live. And as long as we're careful like we are while we're at home and we don't expose ourselves to a lot of people, we should be okay. So I think we did like a private boat ride with just like one guy and pretty much hung out in the condo and on the beach like exclusively. So we're like, it's a little bit of risk, but we'll take it. It's just for the sake of not going stir crazy and knowing that we're going to be locked down in the house pretty much for the next following months while everything spikes back up and does whatever it's going to do. We decided to jump on it and take a little 4-day weekend, little road trip, little 9-hour drive from where I live over to Pensacola, Florida, and back. Yeah, that's it. That's really all I got going on. That's why I couldn't be here last week. I was actually on that trip. I was driving to Florida. So yeah, that's do I have anything else exciting going on? No, not really. I don't think so.
Okay.
I will mention one more thing. My wife and I started watching Alone on Netflix. Excellent show. Highly recommended. It is one of those survival shows where people go survive in the woods. If you're at all into that genre of show, excellent show. Excellent show. They take actual quote unquote experts. Like most of these people they're professional wilderness guides or hunting guides or whatever, live off the land type people. And they literally drop them in like a really shitty place. And they're like, go. And whoever doesn't call the people to come pick them up the longest gets $500,000. They get to take like 10 things with them. It's pretty hardcore. It's pretty
Is that the one where they like pick a random one each time, a different area each time?
Yeah. So on Netflix, the only season that's available is I think the 5th season. And they're literally in the Arctic Circle, which is a good shit show, as you can imagine.
My dad and I used to watch that.
It's a great show. I really like it. Now I got to find a way to go back and watch the first 4 seasons because I'm really interested in it. But basically, they set it up to where there's, in gaming terms, there's like a soft and rage timer. So they're like, all right, here you go. But it's only like 3 weeks until the rainy season or the winter or whatever, to where they have like a week or 2 to like get ready before the weather turns to like total garbage and like the lake that they're on freezes over and they can't catch fish anymore. So it's been a lot of fun. We're gonna watch the last episode tonight after the show. So yeah, that's it. That's my show endorsement. That's my 2-week summary.
I have 3 follow-ups, Rad.
Okay.
The first is...
That's how I know my intro is a good one.
Space Force on Netflix is terrible. Don't watch it.
Haven't seen it.
Huge
Have
waste.
heard that from everyone who has. Though.
Here's the thing. It starts off strong, and then by the end of the show, in one episode, someone's like, we need to fucking bomb them. We need to destroy them. Do we have guns? And then the next episode, they're like, oh my God, we have guns? You fucking monster. How could you bring guns? And I'm like, okay. They just did whatever they wanted with this character, huh? He just says whatever the scriptwriter needs. That's bad writing.
Yeah.
Number 2 follow-up. Rad has been helping me finish my emergency bag planning, and I got everything in my car and got it unloaded. So now it's all in my garage next to my car.
Excellent.
So if I need to get out, it's a half an hour worth of stacking stuff into the back of my car. But I'd rather spend that half an hour than get in my car and leave without a plan and without stuff. Because stuff is nice.
Preparedness is key, man.
Number 3, Rad, is that if you're looking for an interesting survival show, a reality TV survival show, might I interest you in the first 2 seasons of History Channel's The Colony, which is where a group of people, the first one is they stick them in an abandoned warehouse in the LA River Basin, and then they do post-apocalyptic motorcycle riders with chains show up outside and try to do trades for like food. Half the cast are like engineers and the other half are like social media moguls.
That sounds amazing. Where can I watch The Colony?
History Channel somewhere?
Gotta Google it right now.
Yeah.
The Colony. Oops, it just came up with The Colony, Texas, which is apparently a place.
Well, that's
History Channel.
Texas.
History.
The Colony is on Discovery.
Oh, Discovery.
Yep. Yeah.
American TV series.
And it looks like almost all of it's on YouTube now.
Awesome.
Under the Discovery Channel.
Season 1, episode 1. Okay.
Yep.
Sick. I'm gonna check that out.
It is very slightly reality-ish, and then in other parts they're like, here's some hard science. We're gonna make a electric powered trike, and I was like, that checks out. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's this one guy who's like, all right, we're getting ready to leave, but I'm a lone wolf, which is why I built a motorcycle when no one was looking. And I was like, really? Okay, that's a little dramatic. That's it. That's my 3 things.
Cool.
We're gonna go next to Cottontailed. What do you got going on?
Howdy.
Yeah, howdy. I heard that you like wrestling alligators. Is a thing that I've heard, apparently.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be an alligator or crocodile handler for Steve Irwin.
That's awesome.
His rescue.
Australia
And he
Zoo.
died, so my dreams were crushed.
I mean, his kids carry on some of that legacy.
That is true.
His son was just posting a very funny video about finding people in the wild.
I think his son does a lot of the crocodile work now. I've seen him like feeding the crocs at his little rescue and stuff.
Yeah, his daughter just appears on reality TV all the time. She does all like the Dancing with the Stars and that sort of stuff.
Dancing with the Stars. I don't know what to say about that.
While I was on YouTube, for whatever reason, Bondi Rescue popped up, which is about like Australian lifeguards, and I've been watching it because that's really entertaining. I don't know why it ended up on my YouTube feed, but I like it.
Okay.
You know, that's all I've really done is watch Bondi Rescue for the past 2 days.
All right.
That's all.
James, you're new around here. I know this is your first time on this channel and on this show in particular, so I feel like you should give a exhaustive discussion as to who you are.
I think I've already covered my life story here pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm James at the Grimdark Podcast, grimdarkpodcast.com. I've been on this show many times, including in this season as well. So
Are you sure? That doesn't sound right.
I know I was here in March for playing Medusa in a character level game.
That can't be true.
Yes, correct. It is true. Go back and check your own VODs. But yeah, that's it. I've been here plenty of times. Life for me, I'm just watching Snowpiercer. My wife and I have been watching Vikings finally. Like we finally made around to that. I've also been shipbreaking like Arthur. But also my crazy employer has this thing where today is the end of month. So I've been madly trying to get all that stuff finished. And I'm actually still on the clock right now. So if I look distracted, it's because I'm also looking at my work computer. But otherwise, I'll be good.
Okay. I don't think we're going to do anything too intense. Are you through the first season of Vikings?
We've just finished the first season. We're going to start the second one
tonight. That's where I stopped. And I've heard from a lot of people it's not worth finishing Vikings, but I've also heard from people that Vikings is amazing. So it's hard to know where to go from there.
Someone told me there's a new show called, I think, The Lost Kingdom or The Last Kingdom, which is a similar era. That's apparently very good.
Someone's posting that in the chat right now.
If you like Vikings, you should watch a show called Norsemen, because it's not anything like Vikings. It does have Vikings in it.
Well, I also like The Almighty Johnsons. Anyone watch that one at all? What was it? This weird New Zealand-based show that the concept was that all of the original Norse gods had been reincarnated into a bunch of just people that lived in New Zealand because of all the Scandinavians which migrated to New Zealand after it was settled. So there's a bunch of people that are actually the reincarnated forms of Odin and Thor and Loki as such. It's a comedy. It was quite well done. I enjoyed it, except for the fact that I felt the ending let the show down. But otherwise, I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, Norsemen is legitimately made by a Norwegian production company. So I always think it's interesting watching shows that are not made in America because they have a very different feel to them. But it is basically if Vikings were instead The Office. It's actually fantastic, and everyone should watch it.
When they sit around and go like, "Should we go rating today?" And somebody just turns and looks at the camera and goes, "Rating again, Brad." It's on
Netflix. You can watch it. I think it's only one season. I hope it comes back for a second, but it is like The Office and Flight of the Conchords in the Viking setting.
Sounds like an episode of Horrible Histories almost.
It's really good.
The chief wants me to find the difference between these two villages along the English coast. They're the same.
Yeah. It's excellent. The very first scene opens up with like a bunch of old men about to they're supposed to throw themselves off the waterfall. And the whole scene is in having a discussion, be like, you know what? This looks really high. Like, I just don't. Can we just not tell anybody we did this and go live somewhere else? Like it's not that hard. We've been doing it a lot. We just live. We'll just go start a new village, and everybody will just think it'll be fine. And that's how the show starts.
I feel like that's the moment where someone pushes someone else over the waterfall.
They start talking about the merits
if it was a high school show, that would be it.
Honor versus killing yourself and being dead. And well, that just doesn't seem very smart. It's really good. Like I said, it's not a big commitment either. It's only one season, so you should watch it.
Is only one full season not a commitment anymore?
I don't think so.
I suppose in a post-Netflix universe, that's true.
I gotta say, what's hard for me is watching Snowpiercer, where it's actually coming out like an episode a week. I'm so used to these shows that just drop a whole season in one go.
Look at this.
I feel like, this is hard to watch, given it's only one episode a week.
See, I like that. I like that. I don't like it for all the shows that I want to watch, right? But like, I liked The Mandalorian only coming out once a week. Like, I liked Game of Thrones only coming out once a week.
But I only watched Mandalorian after it was all out, and I watched it all at once, and I was like, this was great. It was amazing.
I like watching it one week.
Gina Carano just fucking decked a dude. I was just saying yesterday that the highlight of The Mandalorian for me is the fact that The Mandalorian had a pop-up flamethrower. It was his go-to. It's the first thing he uses in every fight, and it only works one time. He's constantly like, this will solve my problem. Didn't do anything. And the thing is, legitimately, your go-to being a flamethrower is a pretty strong move.
Yeah. Historically, fire solves a lot of problems. Almost as many as it causes, to be real.
So I always say, I want to meet the guy that invented the flamethrower, because that's the guy that said, I want to set that man on fire, but he's all the way over there.
Yeah.
You know what to say? One flame dies, another flame rises. That's how it works.
And
it's a circle
all
of
the way
flame.
over there, and a bow and arrow is too difficult to use.
Over numerous iterations, he determined that the best way to handle that would be to carry fire in a backpack, and then launched it at people from a gun.
And hope that nothing hits the backpack and make it explode.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, because YouTube comments are going to be full of contradictions telling me I'm wrong. But legitimately, Pondo, using fire arrows is not very effective. I know that movies make fire arrows look like they're really effective, but in actuality, they were kind of shitty and dumb.
No, fire arrows not effective. Flamethrowers, yes. They were incredibly effective.
Has anybody considered coolant trucks in Battletech?
Yeah, because you get two flamethrowers on the front end if you want them. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not, because like mechs flamethrowers actually use heat from the reactor, whereas coolant trucks use liquid oxygen for their flamethrower. So they can actually just spray it without igniting it and use it to cool mechs down. They can actually reduce your heat by 2 heat per hit they do on you if they're fanning you down with liquid oxygen.
So you're saying it's the Rad's Bane?
It's a support option, and if you watched Death from Above, Hyper RPG's Death from Above, they had a character whose whole thing was spraying people down with coolant. They got a custom coolant arm on their mech. I started a joke a couple days ago on the Discord about Battletech, and then I started writing a story about Battletech. And now so many people want Battletech that it's probably going to become real. It's just the story of people who, without mechs, maybe they have like logger mechs and cattle masters. No actual mechs, just living their life on the periphery. No mechs.
Can I offer
just the Battletech
a
universe.
dissenting opinion?
Yeah, dissent.
I think that it's a funny idea, and it's great for like a one shot or a short thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
going to be a short.
It's
only going to be 5 episodes max. Short.
Yeah,
right?
I think it'd be hard to campaign that and keep a solid interest. I think.
I agree completely, and I'm glad we have the same headspace on that.
I think you could almost do not West Marches, but you could do you could come back to the setting a couple of times, but you could only do short stories, right? You know what I mean?
So what's important for me is that coolant truck that you're talking about, the Dragon TJ whatever coolant truck, has been at the front end of my mind. Is like there's a cattle master guy whose wife like pilots one, and she goes around and burns all the fields, right? And and it's also probably the local fire truck at the same time. What better way to suppress a fire than by covering it in horrifyingly cooling coolant?
But it's not. As I said, it's liquid oxygen though. You don't spray liquid oxygen on a fire to put it out.
Yes,
that's the sort of the antithesis of putting out a fire.
Yes, I'm aware that's how it works. But I thought that they sprayed like a liquid when they're in coolant mode.
Well, it's just non-ignited liquid oxygen. That's in the fluff.
Yeah, you're right. That would be a very bad thing to pour on a fire. For some reason, I assumed it was like coolant, like I had used, like mostly water mixed with some other chemicals and kind of gelish.
I mean, it's probably just a fluff they've used to justify the fact that the single ammunition bin covers both heating and cooling.
Okay. The Cattle Master comes with 3 machine guns, 2 small lasers, and a big whacking stick. It's the optimal mech for combat. No.
I mean, if you're a farmer.
Cattle Master versus 6 ER BBC Dutchy. And they start from 1 kilometer away.
I have that record sheet somewhere. Bring it up.
The big problem with all the industrial mechs is the ICE engines. You know, you take an engine hit and you explode. That's
rough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not if you get a Star League era one with a fusion engine.
That's Rad's character right there. He's gonna be
sure
like,
"Yeah,
just got a 5 million C-bill cattle master here, heading on out to do my cattle that are worth about $20."
You can actually get some older ones with fission engines as well.
That's what I said.
No,
Star League era.
No, fission as opposed to
Oh,
fusion.
fission. Oh, shit.
It's the one that when it explodes, it actually is dangerous.
Yeah, it radiates everything. It's a little RBMK reactor in your mech.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
So Rad made me watch the Love, Death, and Robots, the episode Suits.
Which is an excellent series. You should watch the whole thing as well. There's lots of cyberpunk episodes in there also.
I'll consider it. But that specific episode has me thinking of...
Do what I say.
Has me thinking of Battletech. So just know Battletech may be dropping for a quick holiday season at some point.
Which one was Suits? That's the one with the mechs on the range, wasn't it?
Yep,
with
mechs on the range.
Tyranid-like things, yeah.
Yep. No, it's excellent. It's only like each episode's only like 15 minutes, I think max maybe, and they're really good. If you've never watched Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix, listen, very high sex and violence content. So if you're not comfortable with that, maybe skip it. But it is all very adult, but it's really good. I mean, some of the best short stories, they're all animated. Some of the best short stories I feel like on the internet that you can watch in 15 minutes. They're really good. A lot of RPG inspiration and packed into each one of those little 15-minute shows, I feel like.
Okay. You got anything else, James?
Were we on me? I got nothing else. Sorry.
No, yeah, we're still doing your outro. I just interrupted it with bullshit.
My outro. We're already done.
Intro.
Sorry, no worries. No, I'm good.
All right. Anything we need to discuss as a group before we get this thing started?
I don't think so.
All right, I think we have a general tapestry. I guess I'm not totally sure how this is going to go, but let's just go with it. What we see is happening in real time, and we're seeing it from the perspective of the Stone Rhino pilot. A Mad Cat steps into the canyon bracketed by walls on both sides, and one of those massive Gauss rifle arms forward fires out a silvery slug, and the Mad Cat arm blocks it, and the arm is knocked away, and everybody's like, oh yes, managed to block that one. Second shot right through the cockpit. As they fall backwards, the screen begins to go outwardly, and now we're watching a recording from a different point of view, as someone wearing a Starleague Defense Force uniform is seated across the table from Major Vincent Gray. And she says, so that was when you withdrew the unit, Major.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand. As far as the commanding general sees it, your mission was a resounding success. We do not believe that unit will be able to reinforce anywhere, according to your report, which, if I am to believe, includes rampaging super jaguars, the threat of nuclear attack, massive satellite infrastructure damage, this planet will probably not be recovering from its military endeavors anytime soon. A prime target for a later invasion.
Yes, we did quite a number, surprisingly enough.
Commanding General Star League Forces is authorizing your unit to maintain 120% of your unit's nominal force as salvage, and the rest of the proceeds will be going to Draconis Combine reconstruction effort.
Understandable.
We've contacted your unit's owner, one Countess Crow. Of course, you have to understand that Operation Bulldog is code word, and we were not able to share with her the full details of the event. You are temporarily being placed in command. She has several orders for you here. I have read them, and some of the contents have been redacted. But overall, I think you'll find that your orders are complete and will carry you forward in your operations here with Bulldog.
Understood.
Now, it's only been a month. I understand some members of your unit are still mourning the loss of the commander. Is there anything you need from us? We, of course, have the full resources of Comstar and the Inner Sphere at our disposal.
All I can request is that you let us know as soon as there's something else that you need us to do.
I think you'll find that everything contained on this data pad will tell you what you need to know about your upcoming orders.
Understood.
Your next operation has already been approved by the highest levels of government.
Understood.
So she gets up and leaves the data pad on the table.
Anita will take the data pad.
Okay. It is ordering you to prepare the unit. In the next 2 weeks, you are to take your jump ship and one drop ship to a system beyond the periphery to engage in a battle with the Novacats. So across the Inner Sphere, Novacats have in large numbers, like whole units, hundreds of Novacats together, and almost all of their civilian population have defected from Clan Novacat to join the Star League Defense Force, where they are being reconstituted in Novacat specific like hermitages within the Draconis Combine. Some Novacats, not liking this particular regard, have defected to become like pure Crusader Novacats, anti-Inner Sphere. And one such group was in transit from the clan homeworlds, location unknown, stopped at the periphery when they got the news that the clan was basically going rogue, and settled in on a star system. It is believed by intelligence services that they will begin attempting to disrupt Draconis Combine operations. They could get involved in Bulldog. They have as many as 2 stars of light mechs, and it is assumed as part of a weapon testing protocol that your main force that you now head, Major Gray, will be able to take care of it. So you've got your 2 sets of Battlemechs that your unit uses. In addition, you'll be tasked with 1 Aerofor catapult, 1 fighter craft who's being added to your unit. Several fighter craft have been purchased by the Countess, and their pilots are being shipped across the Inner Sphere to join the unit, the main body of the unit. You get an artillery piece. I will leave it to you to guess who is the pilot of that artillery piece, and a squad of battle armor. So you have a full Union class dropship full of a special forces unit headed by you. The Countess regrets to inform you that you will not succeed the commander as the new head of the unit, that at your level of experience you're not cleared to command a full reinforced battalion, but that she hopes over time you may one day rise to that position.
Okay.
The system you're headed to is J-X8675309.
Okay. I'll just, I guess, send a message back saying to the Countess saying thank you for the opportunity and the consideration.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. I mean, you're heading a new Special Forces unit.
Yeah. And it will inquire as to who will be the new commander.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take several days for that to come back to you.
Yeah,
by that time,
It's
you
just-
may already be on the operation.
Yeah.
And just as a reminder,
This is to be answered if survive and get back.
several members of your unit are being reassigned. It seems as if Harbinger, your Word of Blake attaché, will be remaining, but Chief Aztec is leaving. Your liaison from Loki is also leaving to return to the Lyran Alliance as quickly as possible.
Was the Chief Aztec not
Your Chief Aztec is Diego Eagle Garcia.
I
I think
thought
you
it was,
once almost shot him in the face with a gun on a rooftop.
I did, yes.
Yep.
Yes, that did
It was a long
happen.
time ago.
What is the Baron?
Baron
What was
is
his
your
job?
chief technical officer.
Okay.
Billy Wyndham
all
Williamson is
confusing.
now the personal. He is your new chief technical officer for your special unit.
Okay.
Task force.
Yes, your task force. And so as a result, I want to jump sideways to Medusa. You've been reassigned. You're still in the first Mech company, but you've been reattached from second lance to command lance. As soon as you get those orders, you get a second message from Billy Wyndham Williamson IV, indicating in very formal language that you're the romantic liaison between the two of you is no longer appropriate given your positions,
Oh, harsh.
and that he regrets to inform you that that the two of you need to break it off for reasons of inter-unit. What do they call it?
Coherency?
Yeah.
Fraternization or
Fraternization,
yeah,
yes.
coherency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like, I mean, he uses so
Cohesion.
many big
Unit
words
cohesion.
that's very un-Billy-ish in the process.
I like the idea that when she gets the message, she's got the same message already like typed out.
Yeah.
So she's just like,
That's what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking.
she's like, oh, that's convenient.
I guess we do a little picture-in-picture of Billy, like, openly weeping as he hits the send button, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh, this works for me. He's, like, holding a rose as he types it.
He pours out some liquor on the ground.
I figured he got some help with some of these words. You know, maybe Clippy comes up with, I see you're writing a breakup letter. Would you like
Oh,
some
wow.
help?
Does Clippy even exist anymore?
Clippy.
I want to say it doesn't, but it probably does in some sort of fashion.
What was Clippy from? Was it called Microsoft Bob?
Well, Microsoft Office was part of Office originally.
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
was originally Office, and then
I thought
He
it
kinda-
came from something called Windows Bob or something like that. Like it was some weird application, and they were like, "We're going to keep Clippy.
Yeah.
He's the only thing that survives."
We're going down a rabbit hole.
Was Bob the random butler that would pop up and help you write stuff?
I don't know.
I mean,
that
there was
Ask
it's Jeeves from
Oh,
AskJeeves.com.
We're talking
Jeez.
mid-90s computer technology. That's outside of my
I
area of
had
expertise.
Clippy, but my grandparents had the butler, and I always thought he was cooler.
I agree that butlers are cool. You have a new set of quarters. You have a new set of Battlemechs that has been assigned to you. And even more importantly, you now have 2 Battlemechs that are assigned to you instead of 1. It's very fancy. Yeah.
So I'll probably, I mean, the first thing I'll be doing is moving all my stuff and then I'll be digging out like whatever technical manuals I can find, and start book diving into both of these.
So
mechs.
there is a technical manual available, but not for the specific model of mech that you have. You definitely find one for the Masakari F, and it's written in clan speak. So sometimes it has sarcastic comments like, and that's how it's supposed to work, Queen Egg. And you're like, what the fuck does this mean? Who thought this is a good idea to include here? You can't find one for the Dervish 7D. You can only find old style Dervish manuals. And when you go on like the local Comstar network here on Pesht, you don't manage to find anything about the new 7D model.
It's just slightly different from the original. It just has streaks and ferrofibrous armor, pretty much, right?
Yeah, so it's the same engine as the 6M and everything. So I imagine that most of the stuff is pretty similar.
They just have it white out as far as the armor grade to ferrofibrous, and then
and endo steel. It's and then they've and case. That's it. So, but it's pretty. I think it's it's about 12 years old. I think at this point in time. The 7D.
Yeah, you've heard that they're actually starting to mass produce dervishes now. Big deal. These 7Ds, very popular.
Another new Avalon Institute of Science, one masterpiece.
Listen, I didn't want to say it, but it was actually built by the Lyran Commonwealth, so no.
No, so the 7D is out of NIS.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought the Dervish itself. Oh, you might be right. They are produced by Archer Battlemechs on New Avalon. Wow, you're one step ahead of me on that. I mean, is New Avalon Institute of Science involved? Is there anything they don't touch with their majestic glowing wings? As you're maybe looking at your new Dervish, it's being painted by your new attaché, your new Aztec, and Billy comes over he's got a shirt that says Chief Engineer, and he's also got a cap that says Mech Boss, and he says, "Excuse me, Sergeant, I see that you're looking at your new Battlemech. Might I offer you this pamphlet that includes all the information you need about your Dervish TAC 7D Delta, ma'am?"
Okay. You don't have to make this weird, Billy. We can just be normal people.
I understand, Sergeant.
I'll take it off him. I'll like flick through the first couple of pages and sort of.
It's exactly the same as all the other Dervish variants. They've only changed like the last 20 pages in regards to the weaponry.
I like that. His hat that says Mech Boss, the S's are $signs.
That would be very Billy.
I think better would be the middle school S's.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, yep.
Anything I need to know about this one specifically?
We're still taking a look at it, ma'am. We haven't had much time to dissect it. We received it in trade for some clan salvage. Would you like to know more about your other mech? I understand you requested this one specifically.
This is the clan mech. It has a very interesting configuration. Thought that would sit well with my past experience. So, is it around? Can I check and have a look?
Yeah. So he leads you over to Mech Bay 2, where it and all the other assault mechs are waiting. And when you look at it, it is unpainted, and there's some battle damage to it. They're replacing plating. It basically looks kind of like if you gave two arms to a apartment building. It's got like a weird hood configuration.
Yeah. Is it still got like the clan livery, or that's been stripped already?
Oh yeah, 100%. Smoke Jaguar right along the side.
Okay. All right, so I've piloted the older 6M Dervish before, but I think I need to spend a bit of time getting familiar with this one. So if you're looking for me, I'll either be in my quarters or down here running over this thing.
Of course. We're working on getting clan-style battle simulators hooked into the Union's main computing base so that you can pilot your mech from your cockpit in simulated battles. I will inform you when that program is complete, Sergeant. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thanks, Billy.
He goes and he gets like a mech paintbrush, which I assume is like 40 feet long, and begins spraying the Warhawk down to get rid of the smoke jaguar symbol and start turning it into a crow's black emblem.
You'd probably use like a roller brush on like a really long pole, wouldn't you?
You know what they say, if you get a long enough lever, you can move the world.
It's like an automated telescoping pole that just like extends out and comes back.
I might go looking for McGurk then.
Very well. McGurk, where are you on the dropship?
Where would McGurk be?
You could also be on the planet of Pesht somewhere. It's a pretty important planet.
So wait a minute. I'm sorry. We're still on the same planet we've been on, right?
No, your unit retreated off of it after the death of the commander. Your mission was considered a great success.
So tell me a little bit about Pesht.
Pesht is the idea of ever landing on Pesht was probably like the life's goal of anyone you've ever met. It's considered like a military capital of extreme importance in the Draconis Combine. You know, it'd be like someone being like, man, you know, it would be great if we occupied Beijing, right? Like, it's not the capital of the Draconis Combine, but it's one of their top like military fortress worlds.
Okay.
Right now, it's like a military colony that's part of Operation Bulldog. It recently suffered a smoke jaguar counterattack, and that counterattack got absolutely fucking decimated by like, they were like, yeah, I think we'll be good with like 50-60 mechs, guys, and then the defending force was like hundreds of inner sphere battle mechs with the best units possible.
Wasn't there also some Clan Wolf like defectors in that battle force as well? Yeah.
There's Kelp Hounds and Second Wolf Legion. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So Wolves in Exile got involved.
How long have we been on the planet?
Several days. Less than a week, more than 24 hours.
I imagine there's probably like a lot of sites to see. Like, are there a lot of like military memorials?
Oh yeah, for sure. Most of it is kicking the ass of the Lyrans, though. So.
I mean, I work for the Lyrans, but I'm not a Lyran. So.
That's correct. It's also a forested world, and I know that you're big on ape creatures. They're predatory super apes that live locally and are allowed to roam freely.
How dangerous are they?
They almost exterminated the original settlement, which had Battlemechs when they landed.
Dangerous.
Yes.
Is there like an equivalent to like in Texas you can rent you can pay to take like helicopter trips and shoot at wild hogs with machine guns?
Yeah, yes. I've seen documentaries of that.
Is there an equivalent where I could get in like one of these cattle masters with machine guns and go on like a hunting expedition for these?
Yes. Is that apes? Where you're pulling yourself out of a cattle master?
That's what I'm doing.
So as you get out of the cattle master, the whole cattle master is covered in dark purple blood everywhere.
Yeah, I assume I can eat this animal. I'm cleaning one of these dead animals, right? I'm skinning it. I've got it all. You know, there's a blood cake, purple blood caked cattle master behind me.
Yes, Pondo, you can have that.
Excellent. Now I'm going to destroy it and turn it into a monstrosity.
Perfect. We'll talk about what it is in a moment. So you are cleaning and skinning a super ape, a carnivorous super ape, as Sergeant Carolyn Hauser approaches you.
Yeah, I'm working on a haunch.
I feel like you're out of uniform, right? Like you're maybe in like camo pants and like a Hawaiian shirt covered in blood.
He's probably like had coveralls on, and he's got like the top unzipped and like, you know, folded down. And he's probably just got like a tank.
For some reason now I just can't not see you in a flannel shirt after suits, but
sure, we can have a flannel shirt.
Chief,
what's happening, Sarge?
Wow, that thing really smells.
Yes, it does. And he reaches up, and he has a big bushy beard, but you see him, he has like tissues like jammed up his nose. It's 2 like wads of paper towel.
Hey, I don't mean to burden you with personal issues, but if you get a chance, could you maybe just set Billy straight? Like, he obviously change of orders. We've got to sort of break it off, and he's taking it pretty weird. I think he might have sort of read more into it than there was.
Yeah, sounds like you really got to him. That's not normally his jam.
Yep. So I just don't want it to be awkward. We ought to work together.
I mean, I'll do my best, but Billy is Billy, so no promises. But I'll give it my best effort.
Okay. And I promise never to come to you again with my sex life. So this is
much appreciated. This is a bargain well struck. How's your transition going?
The room's nicer, certainly, and getting my head around these new mechs. At that time I spent in that Cauldron Born has given me a fine appreciation for the mechs these clanners use. So I'm interested in getting this bigger one out there on the field at some point. But do we know anything about the next engagement?
Would Bandito have told McGurk anything? Or is it too soon for him to know anything just yet?
I think he would after he got his orders, probably shortly after, have everyone for a briefing. I think this is what's going on.
I mean, I don't know much about Nova Cats. I feel like every time we turn over a rock, we find some new clan fuckery. But I mean, more of the same. Seems like we've come this far, and there's no turning back now. Got to beat these guys at their own game. I think it's a good sign that some of them are breaking off. It means they're beginning to figure out they're on the losing side. But that doesn't mean we can't. Doesn't mean we can allow them to flit about the inner sphere doing whatever God knows they want. So,
I mean, how much, Arthur, how much of the objective of Operation Bulldog do we know? Like, do we know this whole plan is to deliver a crushing defeat to the clans?
Yeah, you've been told that. You've been told that the Smoke Jaguars need to be thoroughly defeated in order to intimidate the clans. It seems like there's a lot of hush-hush stuff going on that hasn't been talked about. There's a lot of units that you would normally hear a lot about that haven't reported in, and like your operations probably won't be discussed with any other unit, right? Like you came back to Pesh and you were like, wow, a lot of shit has happened. And they were like, you don't know half of it because we can't tell you.
So is the Major in charge now?
As far as I'm concerned, I've not been ever one much for doing anything other than what I wanted to do. And I think, losing the commander was a heavy hit, but he's a warrior, and he knew. We all know what we're getting ourselves into when we step on the battlefield, Gray included. And I feel like he's been a good second, and I think he'll be a good first. And even if he wasn't, I don't know that we got a lot of choice. So we're just gonna, do what good soldiers do: carry out orders as if they were our own.
So I had to ask, where did you get that thing?
This thing right here, or this, yes. or this animal right here?
This thing you're cutting up.
Well, there's a place just a couple clicks to the east that actually leases these out to go on these little expeditions. Normally they send a guide with you, but for a couple extra credits, I talked him into letting me come out here by myself. I like it though. I think I might try and buy it from him to take it with us. Doesn't take up much space. It's a pretty fun little toy. You want one?
No, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
Okay, your loss. I know where to get you one if you want. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Did anybody tell you how much longer we're going to be here?
Nobody told me anything except move my quarters, get these 2 mechs up and running.
Nobody tells you anything, huh? Well, that means you're truly in rightly part of the command lines, just like the rest of us. So welcome.
Yep, special forces.
That's right. All right. Well, it's good to have you, Medusa. So, go get yourself into some trouble before we have to get out of here and get back in the game.
All right, thanks, Chief. I'll head out. I don't know where. I'll go busy myself elsewhere.
Dr. Lockwood, you have been asked to a unusual meeting. Do you know what ROM is?
No.
It is the Comstar Secret Intelligence Branch. They're kind of like super scary people that, in the same way we would talk about like SEAL Team 6 or like the Nazi SS, ROM is kind of like that. They're like shadowy. No one's really sure if they really exist. Nowadays, they do know that they exist because they're in a shadow war with the Word of Blake version of ROM. They don't
even know what ROM stands for.
Yes, that's true.
It's a secret. They don't even know what their own name means.
You're seated across the table from a Word of Blake ROM agent who's wearing his ROM uniform and a lot of medals and designations on it that you don't recognize, but you get the idea that despite how young this guy looks, he's probably a very seasoned operative, or he accidentally fell into like a pile of military paraphernalia by accident. And since you walked in, he's still reading a newspaper, and he's poured a glass of water for himself, but not for you. He's waiting for you to sit down.
She'll have a seat.
He continues flipping through the paper.
Can I help you?
Oh, yes. Dr. Lockwood, I presume.
Yep. Who are you?
Let's call me David. I'm here to offer you some help. I understand you have quite a problem on your hands. Holds his newspaper up and places it in front of him, smooths it out, pours you a glass of water, slides it over to you.
What problem?
The first thing I should say is that this room, this facility is shielded. You don't have to worry about anything we're about to discuss here. So feel at ease. You may know that the Word of Blake has broken away from the secular Comstar faction. Comstar has for so long damned the Inner Sphere to ignorance with its interference and overreach. Truly, we at Word of Blake want to apologize for centuries of damage to the Inner Sphere. Something has come across our files. In the Comstar files that we parted with, there really are files now, but they still exist in Comstar's database, which is why we're worried on your behalf. Some of our analysts were doing a training mission, going through routine morbidity reports on a certain planet, and discovered the identity of a previously unregistered covert agent. There's reason to believe that you may have killed this man. None of us, just know, none of us here at our particular branch, the Psi branch, blame you. This man obviously was going to come after you and attempt to kill you. So no judgment here. However, you understand that if Comstar was to also uncover this information, you could be charged with murder. Your medical license at the very least could be suspended or revoked.
I'm aware of that.
We here at the Word of Blake, and specifically within ROM, have taken a great interest in your career and the path that your life has taken, and we just wanted to offer to take care of this situation for you.
At what cost?
We would never be so gaudy as to place a price tag on your life. But for a charitable donation to our organization, we could move this up from the trainee level to more experienced operatives.
I guess I'll make a donation.
The peace of Blake be with you.
She's gonna get up and leave.
Okay. As you're leaving, he presses a button on the. Will the donation be tax deductible? It would be in the Free Worlds League, but I don't think anywhere else. The Star League doesn't recognize Word of Blake ever, so he presses a button as you're leaving on the desk phone and says, "Operation Warhammer is a go." And then he releases the button. How much charitable donation will you be donating?
I don't know how much money I have.
Assume it's your liquid cash, maybe a few million. You do, however, have very serious financial interests in a floating. I hesitate to call it a sex palace. Let's call it. What do they actually call them?
Sin-Den.
It's a pleasure circus.
Pleasure circuit. Yes, that's it. My apologies. That is the correct terminology. And as we already know, yours biggest attraction is actually the zero-G roller coaster that runs the length of the ship, and the bar in which Rapier was tricked by Molly. Also a prime spot.
Taken advantage of is the proper term.
Okay. Sure. Yes, Cotton's character is Canopian and has rabbit ears. Cybernetic rabbit ears.
What would a sizable donation be?
Anywhere from several million to several hundred million.
I guess several million?
Okay, all right.
I don't want to jeopardize my pleasure circus because people live there.
I understand. So you think several million is okay?
I have no idea how the money works.
Good.
Honestly.
Excellent. Good. I'm aware of that, and I'm aware that your character also knows that.
That sounds pretty in character.
Yeah. I remember when you paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands to have a mechanical bull shipped across the inner sphere.
I don't know how the money works in this world, and I don't want to learn it.
Perfect.
Because it fits better if I don't.
That's also how money works in the actual world. It's just some people convince themselves they understand how it works. You leave your creepy meeting with a word of intelligence operative. What do you do? Where do you go? Do we follow you, or is that just it?
I'll go find Bandito.
Bandito, where are you?
Probably getting accustomed to his new office or room.
You have your new office has a new addition to it. You've never seen it in here before, and it's got a gift ribbon on it. It is a 2-scale replica of your new Battlemech that you've recently acquired as part of some trading done with salvage. It is a direwolf. I think that we can't see the weapon loadout because it's covered by the ribbon. Also, I don't know what you've chosen as the weapon loadout yet, but as per normal operating procedures, Black Rabbit, you enter the commander's office without any shits given.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's normal.
Howdy.
I think I just got blackmailed.
Explain?
I mean, he was kind of polite and he talked nice, but I'm pretty sure that's blackmail.
What did he blackmail you about?
Evidence that I killed that guy.
Who was the guy you talked to that was blackmailing?
Oh, I just forgot the name that it's called.
Rom.
No, I know Rom. Word of Blake.
Yes.
A ROM agent from the Word of Blake.
Oh, then it's highly probable.
All right. Should I be concerned?
Is your phone on? That's Bandito instinctively turns off his phone.
I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, okay. Probably is the answer. Turns out when you're one of the few people that owns a steady communication system in the entirety of a galaxy and several others, probably, you have a lot of money and you have a lot of power that you can do things with, like blackmail.
I gave him a small donation of several $1,000,000.
I think Bandito just like kind of puts his hand on his wallet as he kind of reels slightly in pain. Yeah, that sounds small.
Did I not give him enough?
No, that's probably enough. You do realize several $1,000,000 purchases a Battlemech, right?
Yeah, it's just a Battlemech. I got one of those for my birthday when I was like 13.
I have no words. Battlemechs are expensive, and rarely do people have the opportunity to own one, let alone enough to fill a dropship. Usually they have to outsource the money. They outsource the mechs to do their work. Like hire mercenaries. And we barely keep up with buying new mechs. Although recently it's become easy. I don't know how. Usually everything just kept blowing up. We couldn't pick it up. Just slag on the ground.
All of a
Now
sudden, we're
just-
salvaging shit left and right.
Wow. Way to get meta about the system change, bro.
But I'd be careful. And don't say bad things about them in public, because you will have to take a 4 to 8 hour course. on how
I'm not
these is-
you.
Holy shit.
As much as I want to argue that, you're not wrong. Is there anything else that you needed to confess, ask, or pester about?
It's a strange lineup there.
All right. In no particular order.
Sure.
Is
No,
there-
I was just confirming that was blackmail. I haven't been blackmailed before.
Are you sure?
Not that I recall.
Okay. That sounds more accurate.
Seems like something you would remember.
Or it was so minute that she didn't even notice. Like she had to just give a couple grand to somebody to.
Do you want me to buy a battle mech for the unit? Are we low on those?
No, we're fine. No.
In fact,
was
you
just
have
trying
more
to-
Battlemechs than normal. You can't even fit them all on the dropships anymore.
We're fine. I was just trying to give you a money comparison of what you just gave the person, but apparently that failed completely.
Yeah, if you wanted a battle mech, I just would have bought him one.
No, we don't got. We have enough, but perhaps we have too many. That's a strange thing to say.
All right.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Just Vandy just stares awkwardly, waiting for her to leave.
I'm gonna start just exploring his office because it's new.
Okay.
There's a knock at the door.
Come in, I suppose.
The door opens. You kind of recognize the guy that shows up. You're pretty sure he's a member of the unit already. You're just not sure you know who he is or what he does. He's got a burned face and like a glowing red cyber eye that kind of makes him very noticeable since cybernetic technology is not very popular. He's also wearing a lieutenant's outfit, and he comes in and salutes and says, "Sir."
Hello. How can I assist you?
I just wanted to report for duty.
Oh, indeed.
Lieutenant Paul Cullors, I'll be your new aerospace officer. I received the new craft today.
Why are aerospace pilots so fucking weird all the time?
That's good to hear. Is it to your liking?
Yes, it is, sir. I'm pleased to pilot it. Have you looked over its technical specifications?
I could, but I know Battlemechs, not aerospace fighters or fighters in general.
I see. It is not what one would consider a traditional aerospace fighter, sir.
Understand?
What's wrong with it?
We don't know yet. While we were making our way off planet, we recovered it from the mech bay of the Planetary Command Center. It is apparently a clan experimental model of land air mech. As I'm the only member of the unit who is qualified in land air mechs. In fact, I was a former land air mech test pilot, which is where I received this scar.
This thing's actually, I thought there was a joke.
My entire life's work is that joke, sir.
I am so sorry.
Thank you, sir. Sir, anything else?
Nope. Just, I guess, figure out what's wrong with said mech. And pleasure to meet you.
You could see he wants to say likewise, but you did just insult him repeatedly, so he turns and leaves for the aerospace bay, which is now also a mech bay.
Yeah.
You're really bad with people. I thought I was bad.
I don't want to hear it. Why are aerospace fighters always weird? First, the guy who had a thing for explosions. Now,
Master Exploder?
Yes.
What's his name?
Yes. Master Exploder.
What was weird about that guy? The only thing he said was he, piloted land air mechs.
Wow, she's got you there. What was weird about that?
Are you judging him for his looks, Bandito?
No, I'm judging the land air mech thing. It sounds like a weird combination and a monstrosity.
Sounds like it'd be highly useful.
If it doesn't explode on you, because you're mixing things that a mech should have and things that air spiders should have that probably shouldn't mix together and be stable, relatively speaking.
You're the one who said that you didn't know aerospace stuff.
I don't.
So how do you know that's not stable?
I don't think you know our track record with aerospace fighters, do you?
No.
They tend to die immediately in this company.
I feel like there should be a quick montage here of all of the... So it doesn't even show their deaths. It just shows portraits of the pilots with a red band across their portrait. That's it. While it plays a really sad song. And then it cuts back to the present.
Those things are very expensive that we keep having to replace. Along with the pilots.
Are they actually expensive?
I mean, I don't feel like having this conversation at the moment. Anything else that I can help you with?
Nope.
Okay. Can I have my office so that I can get things prepared?
Am I bothering you?
No, but you're making me nervous.
Why?
I don't know. And I don't want to find out in case there's something that happens.
Are you afraid I'm gonna like stab you or something? Because I'm not actually proficient in that.
We cut to a flashback of Cotton stabbing a man lying on a table. Then we cut back to the present.
I think the menu is just like, I also need to get back to my work. If it's no issue with you.
You didn't answer that. I'll just take it as you don't trust me, and I'll leave.
I'm
And
a
you
very
know-
paranoid person. I apologize.
You have surprisingly less work than normal.
Who's doing my work now?
So you're no longer the executive officer of the unit. You're the commander of the first company. And it just seems like whatever your old work is piling up for when the new commander arrives and chooses an executive. It's gonna be a lot of paperwork. You're basically on like that Corona vacation. You're like, oh, my workload just got cut down to 20% of normal. Wow. The last thing that happens is someone knocks on your door and kicks it open, and in their hands they've got a bottle of vodka in one hand and 2 glasses with 2 ice cubes in each, and the other, and they go, "So I hear I am still assigned to your unit. This is good thing, yes." And as he marches into your office,
I had no doubt that you'd be here, Pavel.
we cut to a black screen as we go to break. We'll be back from break in the second half. Stick around in the next 8 minutes to find out what happens next.